Yeah, hi, I'm Trev. We're here today, we're going to talk about my little white Torana that's been doing the circus lately and everyone's a bit interested in. I've always loved my little red motors. Back in the day I built a good red motor for Bob Power and Will Power in their short circuit Ford sedan with a Duggan head and some Delordos, and I always had that in my mind that I could do a really tough little 6-cylinder in a Torana. I used to race my old Monaro back in the day in the 80s, so I haven't raced for a long time, just build engines basically all my life for a living, and always got that little red motor in mind. Anyway, it all came about when my good old mate Jeff Ubergang, he got a Monaro and we put him into the 9s in a full street thing, and he got cancer, and anyway, at his wake, me and two of my mates got talking, and I said, you know what, I reckon I could put a little 202 naturally aspirated, street registered Torana into the 10s. Well, I'll tell you what, my mate spat his beer all over him, the other bloke fell off his stool, and so I thought, well, righto, I'll bet you I can. So, bet him a 6-pack, because, she's on, any Aussie will do for a 6-pack. And it just so happens that probably about a month earlier, I'd just done a big block for a bloke, and he come pick it up, and he said, oh, I was going to put it in my Torana, but I'm going to put it in the HQ. I said, oh, what little Torana? He said, oh, I bought a little LC and little old granny spec thing there, it's all it needs doing. And I said, oh, yeah, what do you want for it? He said, oh, $1,500. Oh, I'm there, tilt tray, boom, had the money, bang, brought it home, and hey, here's my little dreams just starting to come together here. I think I'm going to do it. Put my engine started all here, just, to me, engines are just mathematics. You need X amount of CFM to make a horsepower. How much horsepower do I need to shift that much weight to do that much time? So that's where she started. And then, it took 5 years to get it done, to get it built. It all sounds easy when we talk about it like this, but everyone knows how hard it is and all the in-betweens. And, we hit the dyno, and I'd spent weeks, hours, days, so much so that the boys at the workshop, when I come in one morning, here's the number plates changed to Dyno Queen. That's what it's all about. It's really the chase to get there, the tuning and all the extra bits you make, the exhaust bits and changing carburetors. That's the fun. That's the fun building it. And it took 5 years to get there, and then I was there, I was ready to go. Now the boy says, well, come on, Dad, we'll take it down. And holy shit, really got to do this. So we loaded her up, and we went down, and we gets down there, and I tell you, I was so nervous. I hadn't been on the track for 30 years. The boy says, Dad, just go out there and just give her a bit of a hit through the 60 foot, and if it feels all right, take the half track and back it off. And anyway, pulled her out and down and hit the lights, lined her up, and then I just nails her, and I tell you what, she just took off, eh? Just lifted and whoa, 8 grand, smash a gear, 8, smash another gear, and then I'm just hanging on, and it's just, this is awesome. And then tacho's 8 over 8, I thought, where's this finish line? And she just, finish it. Oh man, I tell you, my heart was just banging out of my chest, man. It was the most exhilarating thing I have done in the last 30 odd years. I tell you, mate, it was the biggest day. It was awesome. And I came back and I rolled through and I picked up that ticket and it said 1110 at 190 mile an hour. And I went, whoa, I've done it, And I looked back and it was a 1.5 in the 60 foot, and oh mate, this is dream days. The best it's run, the PB, what I've ran now is a 1073. I think it was 123 and a half, maybe 124 mile an hour, and just 151 in the 60, like just amazing. So basically when it comes to the engine, it's a 202. It is basic, but it's not. There's a lot of science in there, obviously. It's got a roller cam in it. It's got 50 mil Webers on it. The head's a JZ head, and it's been hand ported and massaged a bit more, and It's got an ICE ignition in it with the billet distributor. It's got a standard LC Torana sump. It's got no baffles in it. The key is the pickup size. You've got to have a little bit larger pickup diameter. The standard ones probably just don't cut it. So it's good to have that line out of your sump up into the outside of your oil pump. The car in itself is still standard, you know, like it's got a full interior. The suspension's all a standard suspension. It's got standard rear springs in it. The springs in it are the springs that came out in this car in 1971. So it's got the original springs in the rear. I do have a set of King springs in the front just to get the front right. The first time I drove it and I hit the brakes at 120, I thought, wow, this doesn't pull up that good. So I popped some wheelwood discs and calipers on her, and that sort of got her stopping a little bit better for me. But other than that, the car, as you would drive it, just with the good engine in it, and nice set of wheels, set of well wheels on her, and a set of 235 ET Streets. I had to do just a tiny little bit of massaging in the inside of the inner guard at the back to get them to fit under there, but you know, it's all sitting pretty well standard height. Three-way shocks on the back, nothing fancy, just your Moroso three-ways, some 9010s in the front. I basically keep it simple but nice. Yeah, the engine itself, horsepower-wise, it makes probably a little bit over 460 at the engine, a bit over 300 at the tyres. We don't sort of dwell too much on dyno figures. That's what it is. It's got about that much horsepower. You have to have that much horsepower to make those times. So, you know, that's about it with the little girl. There's only one thing left to do with it, and that's to make good on that six-pack, boys. So, looking for you guys.
There we go, 1082.